Do we care? Sex and politics. Um, our politicians, they getting kind of wild on social media sites and actually in real life. So Lauren Boebert had a date. She went to see what was it? Beetlejuice?
Beetle Juice.
Beetle Juice.
Where she was vaping and performing sexual acts with her date. Do we care? Shake?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Right? And this is what I'm going to blame. I'm going to blame Beetlejuice. As somebody who worked in the movie theater, when Tim Burton's Beetlejuice came out like 10 years ago, right? Some freaky things was happening in that movie theater. This gay couple was caught giving each other handies in the movie theater. So I blame the movie theater and not the conservative politics of one evangelical Christian Lauren Boebert, right? Because, you know, conservatives don't do things like that. They have bad sex. Conservatives have bad sex. In its nature, you have to have bad sex. You can't be a liberal and be good at sex. It's like you cannot gonna spice nothing up. Like you're gonna be missionary only, if that.
Hey man, but when the chips are down though, I'm tired of people shitting on missionary, man. Missionary, when the chips are down, man, and you found the right one, there's nothing like that frontal glare. That front eye glare. And then when she tugs at your beard a little bit, come on, Shake. That don't act like it ain't a hit for you.
All right, let's bring this back to civility. Here. Do we care about Lauren Boebert and her public displays of
I do care.
affection?
I do care about this. And I care about this a lot. As a person that was recently at the Into the Spider-Verse 32 group orchestra event where they played a live musical band during the music point, which is epic. So if you ever have an opportunity to do something like this, please go do it, especially with the soundtrack as good as Into the Spider-Verse. But the thing that was more shocking to me is that this was a 9 p.m. show, and the amount of kids that were in my show. So her show was at 7 o'clock, so I could only imagine how many kids on a Friday, Saturday night trying to get the kids wound down or like get their energy exercised out of them, take them to this Broadway show. And when you really look at the video, you honestly see a person who is pro-life doing a lot of un-pro-life thing. First, she was trying to beat her man's meat off, so waste seed. Two, she was vaping in front of a pregnant woman who had kids, and then upon figuring out that, oh, I'm pregnant, can you stop vaping? Here, let me offer you a drink. The thing that's so maddening about these people who claim to be all about pro-life is if you take a close look at them, you can tell they give no fucks about life. Lauren Boebert is 36 years old, 1 year older than me, and she's a grandmother. If that doesn't facilitate some type of sexual fetishization or pessimism about sexual pessimism, there's some type of pedophilia going on in that work life, because there's no way she's having grandkids now without her daughter having some type of sexual trauma. Like, we don't talk about the big picture here.
Grandson. Her son.
Her son.
Yeah, her son had a
Her son had the kid. Her son had the kid.
Her son has another kid. So, like, for her to be so healthy and talk about this, and that happened out of wedlock. So what are we talking about here?
Yeah. So like crazy. That part doesn't change. That part don't change. Like, it's just funny to me that like when they get kicked out, she's on camera walking out and flipping the bird. Like, the audacity of them.
Wrong.
And like the fact that they have no shame, that's what I actually find funny. It's genuinely funny and she blames him to this day. She blames her date.
Yeah, the apology was on the lines of, I didn't know he was a Democrat. It was something on the lines of that. And then
that's why I said,
by the way you couldn't tell by the way his penis was leaning? Oh, dude, stop.
I was, you know what? I was gonna
That's bad. That's very bad. But one thing I didn't like, and I didn't mean to cut you off, Shake, but and Shake looked like he's frozen. But the politician from he's a Democrat in Philadelphia, the one who had the stroke, middle-aged white guy. They're blaming him because he wears hoodies. So they're saying because he wears hoodies, he is not respecting his office. Therefore, people like Lauren won't respect hers, and this is what happens.
Yeah, they're talking about Fetterman. Yeah, because
Fetterman, there you
that's the highlight. That's the fall of democracy right there. A guy who wore shorts, not into the House chamber, who stood at the doorway to cast his vote. He's not a person that has anything to do with this, because once again he's following the rules, because the House rules has made it they've laxed the regulation on that. Now if he was doing this in opposition to what the rules were, there'd be a problem. But see how they try and conflate? One person has clearly broken the rules and they're trying to conflate. Another group has followed the rules, but because they can't stand on anything, because they don't stand for anything, they have to use these trivial things to keep us distracted. And I'll say this right now. The government's 5 days away, less than 5 days away from being shut down. If you know someone who gets assistance, if you're a person who gets assistance, I want you to know that this is a Republican-led House being held hostage by people like Lauren Boebert. She is one of the 7 Republicans that are refusing to move the budgetary commissionary forward because of whatever her ideologies are and whatever things she wants to stand on, whether it's Fetterman wearing shorts or the fact that military aid being given to Ukraine to fight a war that we do need them to front for us. I don't know why anyone's making this an argument, is happening. So like, man, register to vote, because like, you don't just vote for the president. You need to be voting for the people that represent you. And that's madness. There's no way in hell this lady could be representing me. Colorado?
And
I think we need to talk
she
about
is.
the real issue here. The real issue is my man's terrible breast grabbing technique. My man went in there like he was trying to grab a melon. If you watch the video, Icon, you got the video, put up the video.
No, I don't
right?
have the video.
It was terrible. He goes in there like it was his first time grabbing a breast.
Yeah.
It was awful. That is the real crime.
Much. Yeah.
Not the vaping
Can you
in front of a
demonstrate?
pregnant woman. Right? It was like this. He come in there like full handed, like this, like it was like a ground beef, like he was trying to knead a meatloaf, right?
Like, you know, have you ever seen a little kid trying to learn how to palm a basketball, an adult sized basketball, and he just can't get he just keeps trying to You need to roll your palm, my brother. Roll your. It can't be taught.
Like,
okay, let's move off of this. Susanna Gibson of where is she? I don't remember where she is. Oh, Virginia, Democrat out of Virginia. Her and her husband were on a site like OnlyFans where you tip them, they do sexual acts. Well, her competition found out, the person running against her, and they took it to the media like they should. So her lawyer is saying, if your opponent is doing something that the voters will probably shun.
Wait. Why would your voters shun you for consensual sex acts?
Come on
Can
now.
I get the topic out?
Come on
Can I
now.
please get the topic out?
No, you was not. Oh, this is the topic, or you giving your opinion? I just want to make sure.
I'm explaining the topic.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought this was your personal opinion. It sounded like your personal opinion.
Leading sounds like you're leading.
Okay.
Judge leading. Objection.
Dear people
leading
in the chat.
witness.
So Susanna Gibson was performing sexual acts with her husband on a website. Sort of, I guess, like OnlyFans. Of course, y'all know that. So I'm going to go to Hero and say, do we care? Because
I'm going to say, actually,
why are you making assumptions?
No. I'm gonna, and this is gonna shock you. I don't care, because it's 2 consenting adults doing what 2 consenting adults want to do for the internet. And if you think for any second, a generation, 3 generations now, that were born and raised by the internet, that you're not gonna see more of your favorite porn stars and OnlyFans start to show up in more adult positions, you're crazy. This is the equivalent of seeing that really
more
old
adult
dude.
positions. How many more are they?
Hey. But this is the equivalent. This is the equivalent of seeing the super tatted up girl or the super tatted up, super pierced old dude, like 70 or 80. And like, damn, that dude was right. Yeah, that dude was a rebel back in his day, and you see how he's progressed and you see how she's progressed. So like the fact that they're doing this doesn't make a difference. The fact that they're doing this and it was exposed by an operative, well, there are laws on the books in Virginia about exposing that type of content. And unless you are following the terms of services, which is you cannot withdraw that media from that site without legal notice or compensation for it, you're breaking a law. So technically, in an effort to expose these people, they downloaded that information and they broke the law to do it. So like it's baffling to
I'm sorry. Wait. Because
that's called sex revenge.
The only issue I have with this is the lawyer saying this violates the state's revenge porn law.
It is.
And I disagree with that because these images are out there. You put them out.
They
I didn't put them out.
No, the person who the Republican Party or Super PAC that decided to withdraw that information, take screenshots and screen record that information has broken the law. And they broke it when they further pushed it forward. It's one thing to pirate it. They stole it, first of all. They stole someone's IP. But it's another thing to then push it to the public as a same of revenge porn.
I'm just saying,
No, please.
So
look at his face.
It's going to be an interesting world when more and more of your favorite adult actor and actresses start. I get what you were saying here, where like when they start moving into the actual mainstream public life, right? Like start showing up, and like you're going to have to, separate the art from the artist because they are, remember, just actors, right? Regardless of what they're doing, it is just an exaggerating act. Remember, people, right? So they are still human beings too who deserve to have careers outside of sex work, right? That is true. I could very much see it still being jarring to a voter base, right? If just a year ago, the person who wants your vote was getting gangbanged on camera, right?
Hold on. She was a one penis type lady. Come on now.
right?
Well, this particular person.
I can understand your voter base questioning your decision making, right? Not saying it's wrong, but just saying, you know what, maybe your decision making is not somebody that I would want to represent me. Because, right? So that is the consequence that's going to come with this, right? You're going to have to deal with people who are like, yo, you do you, but I don't want you, somebody who would still do that on camera, right, representing me, right? She has every right to have an OnlyFans. Every right. She shouldn't be shamed for that. But she should understand part of the consequences.
I agree.
You can have a voter base who does not want that in their politicians, right? And there's a difference in
that in their
hearing
politician.
I see what you did there.
Right? Because you don't want to question how certain deals were made, right? There's a difference between you hearing about your politician being a freak, right? There's a difference between like seeing it, right? You know what I mean? Like, imagine if like you go to shake your governor's hand and like you just know there's a video of them just like mad meat around them, right? It just copious amounts of meat. You will never be able to take them serious.
It's hard to take you serious. What the hell? All right.
Hero's not even saying nothing.
I mean,
would you? He knows how to read the room.
Shit. You saying it. I said I didn't care about this because, look, I'm not going to be mad when fucking Booty Talks 34 is the frontline runner for the Democratic Party. That's just how it's going to be.